Hello, this is Wolf Outdoor Review here. Today I'm going to be doing a review of this IR light, otherwise known as the MS-2000M. This is a strobe light designated. It's not really a flashlight. They put this on helmets and stuff. And I picked one of these up recently, and there's not too many videos on it on the internet, so I thought I'd go over it. This is essentially an older version of the Streamlight Sidewinder. Similar type of battery compartment, which may be why the military chose to go that route. Both them have similar features, except one is technically modern than the other. Here is the difference. Alright, I'm back. I had to grab this, but this is the Streamlight Sidewinder. There's a video on my channel about a full review of this, but this is essentially what I believe replaced this. A little bit bigger, but a little bit more useful. Both of them have a IR and strobe function, so we'll just go for white for now. And if you double tap, you get this strobe, and if that's not enough, you hold down and it makes this blip function. It's way more quicker than the video because the frame rate's higher. It's like a very blinding instant. The only thing is unless you buy the rescue one, which has a bulb on the top, and that allows you to see, I think, what is it, 180 versus this is kind of directional. And as I'll show you in this one, that has a blue function. You could do the same thing with, or in our case. So whatever, this has a pretty high candela, so it's more designed to be long distance, but this essentially, if you're going to buy one or the other, I'd pick maybe this one. I just thought this is kind of an old piece of cool equipment, so that's what that is if you want to look it up to buy. And you can mount this on helmets, you can mount it on your plate carrier, you could add Velcro. They make a plate you can put on that puts this so that if you have Velcro on the side of your Team Wendy helmet, you can use that. But so that is just an overview of what I would recommend if you're going to buy one or the other. Now getting into the actual review. Here's all the nomenclature. It'll also be in the thumbnail. But if you want to read this, I think the difference between yours, if you bought one, and mine, would be the serial number and maybe the contractor, if there's different contractor. But this type light marker distress should be the same, and the NSN should be the same. And then on the other side, this is the shield they're talking about. This is somehow a black thing that you could, I don't know if you could kind of maybe see through, but somehow this allows you to see through IR. And oh, here we go. You can take it off if you need to. There. So this is, it's apparently IR usable, which I don't know if you can see anything, but this is the IR cover. It feels like just black plastic, and maybe somehow the manufacturing processes only infrared light can pass through this somehow. Maybe that's like a thermal thing. I'm not really a scientist, but that's my guess. So, and then this is the white light. As you can see, you get about 180, I believe, amount of visibility, maybe more, maybe less, depending on if theoretically you could see down to here. So it's not quite 360, but I wouldn't even know how much you could see, but I'd assume it's pretty directional, and if you really want it directional, you could do this, which we'll go over in a minute. But this is the IR cover for that, and this comes on and off. If you're a poor boy who can't afford IR nods or PVS 14s or whatever, then probably you could take it on or leave it off, whatever. It has a pretty good thing, like, okay, I can't see anything at all. Alright, I'm closing, my eyes are closed. Alright. If you can kind of feel the battery, the icon there, you kind of know plus. Alright, I can't really feel, but I know it's not here, so that means plus is here, so that means the battery nubby part of the battery should go down here and up here. Although this is kind of in the way for that one, but if you move that, then you have a good. And then it's similar to the Streamlight. Both of them have twistable tail cap. So, and I think that might be a carryover. This one's a little bit more rougher, the texture. But this may have been what this was designed off of, both of them. This one has a coin closure though. But as you will see in a minute, this has a braided cable. It also retains the, where is that? Oh, here. The battery nub. You can tell which battery goes in where. So, except this is on the side, so up and down. So you can feel it at night. So it has a waterproof O-ring and a braided cable thing, and the cable can go off if you pull it all the way. There's a full video on my channel about this. I don't want to stray from those only interested in this. But yes, that comes off like that. Same with this. So I believe this is that Streamlight's a updated version of this. Same thing. Has no rings. Same thing there. You can figure out which way it goes. For this video, I'll take this one off just to show you. If you need to replace, like, oh, this part cracked, you can remove this entirely. It's a little oily, but you can remove this entirely and oil it, or I don't know what. And then you have your battery. I just have 2 Streamlights, and then you notice here that's plus. That means plus here. Positive, positive, negative, negative, and I think your batteries. Yeah, I should say, if you are not really new to batteries or whatever, if you have plus, match the pluses up, lowercase plus, and it shows you a diagram of how it should be. So that's how the batteries work, for those of you who don't know. And then you can get that to tighten. It takes a few minutes, but I like being able to do like a DJ turntable. That tends to go quickly. And then once you get reasonable enough, you could suspend, then use this piece here to kind of speed it up. But I like to take everything like this apart before I operate it. When I bought this new, I got it at a thrift store for like $10 or something, $5, I don't even know. It was cheap enough that I was like, I know I'll never use it, or if I do, it'll be limited use. But for $5, $10, it's a cool piece of technology to just explain to people and do a review on at very worst. And it's kind of cool and I figured the only redeeming factor right now that I would use it for is the actual white strobe. Like if you're hiking or whatever, it's always good to have a sense of a device you could use to signal to others with. It may be outdated for the IR specs, but commercially this is pretty cool with the features it has. So going back to this, you had your battery door. It tells you which things you have. Now to activate this is tied to this, which is tied to this, which has a piece of string all the way through. So you can run this around your neck or run it through a pouch of some sort, like a grenade pouch if you wanted to. You could tie it around the spoon release lever part of the grenade pin so that it's dummy corded in place, which is good on helmets anyway. They don't really make they do have a pouch designed for this, and I own it somewhere, and I'll do an updated review when I find that, going over all the different flashlights I own and all that. But yeah, for now, yeah, this is all I have. In order to activate this, you pull down this accidental release protection thing, and you can't really accidentally brush up against this. It takes deliberate press down almost, and then up. Now, hopefully the camera can pick up. Yep, there's your IR, and the cameras can pick up IR, so I don't know why it's there, but you know, so it will pick up an IR. especially under NVGs, but so it does work like that. You could also make it directional within IR. That way it more focused beam. I don't know what the percentage is, but I'd say at maybe worst 45 off each side. So maybe like a funnel, but 45 degrees square for like a hopper on a train car. So probably the worst it does is something like this for beam throw. But it is a pretty tight candela. And so there's that. And if you, other than the white light I showed you, when you pull it down, it has a blue filter over it. So I guess that distinguishes this from ground fire, from weaponry or whatever. So then you can aim with this where you need it and hope they get what you're doing. And this is obviously something that you would do in contrast with your whistles and ground signaling orange devices. They're more like, I can see orange in the bush. So depending on what time of the day it is, if it's night, you'd probably use this. If it's day, you'd either use a signal mirror or a signal panel. So, you know, it's good to have a few options on your whistle and all that. But yeah, so that is the IR part of it. In order, you can then push this down so that it can't be turned off. But I always like, if you're going to use something, make sure you know if it's on or off. So, that's too high, then it's on. And keep in mind, you don't, if you're going to check to make sure, okay, I just slid it down, I'm going to immediately check to make sure it's off. Like, watch one of my fingers and its response. You get one more flash after you slide down, so don't throw off your whole operation because of that. You didn't know that. And then, do not extend shield for IR. That means this. So, this will give away your position to any person who doesn't have them, supposedly. But leaving that down only allows IR. But with the day and age where the enemy has IR, I don't know. Depending on if you're in military or milsim or whatever, or a prepared outdoorsman, it's good to make sure you know what you're going to be using this for. Don't just don't use it until you've been authorized to do so, or whatever your higher up command says. So, but it's a good thing for even hikers to carry for like distress beacons if you're not going to carry a GPS with the SOS function, or if you do, it's good to have something so the helicopter knows where to pick you up if you're injured. So I always try to carry some sort of signaling device on me. So it has a dummy cord that's it comes with, you could find these in varying levels of decay. I saw one at a surplus store I didn't buy. It was $20. It was, you could tell this globule on the top gets cracked, so it had a crack that ran all the way through, and that means it's unwaterproof. And then what's weird is you have this felt stuff here. This is like a felt material, so I guess that keeps things. And then how this works is, as you can see, I'll do it slowly, it's a friction device. This is just a piece of, like, I don't even know, like plastic bag material, but a little thicker. I guess they used it on the projector slide things in the old days, like that laminating paper stuff, but blue, and a piece of metal that wants to curve. So when you push down, up, anyone can see this beacon. This is more deliberate and tells difference between gunfire and this in the NVGs apparently. And you could do half and half, but you know, try to do one or the other, I'd think. And you can do IR for both options. There's the beacon IR and intentional directional IR. So that's kind of a very quick review of this. I don't know what much else I could tell you other than what I showed you. If you want to make there's these on Amazon. They're dummy ones. If you're going to buy one, I would make sure read the description on anything you buy and make sure it says it's working or non-working. Some are for airsofters. It doesn't matter if it works. Some of them are even airsoft BB holders. And then this opens up, or the bottom one of the two, and then you press a button and it's a hopper with BBs in it. So some of these aren't real. This one is real. So if you have a chance to buy it at a pawn shop or something, make sure you inspect it. Here's the wear points you want to look for. You want to make sure this globule isn't cracked. If you have batteries on you, open it up, put in new batteries and test it. The value diminishes really quickly if it doesn't work, and at that point, unless you're doing a cosplay, then you want to make sure it works. But in some cases, like there's some video game, I forget what it is, that they did a review of this, and this is something you would turn on and then throw, and then it would mark the LZ for destruction or something, or they would bomb it then. So this could be used in cosplays. There's fake versions, there's real versions, but the real ones have national stock number right here, a serial number, and you want to make sure that you read the description fully. If it says real working model, they're about $50 for the real version if you're buying them on eBay or whatever. And then the real ones should go up and down like this. I didn't know that when I bought it. I only found out because I pushed on this to say, oh, I think it was like that, and I was like, oh, I think that's broken, and then I pushed it, and I went, oh, it extends, and then it has a blue thing, so, and then you have this part, which may or may not come off. I don't know what my problem is. Maybe they didn't take the tape off to hear it or something. I don't know. Or maybe I have to re-glue it, but this does kind of move around. I don't know why there's felt here. Maybe to protect the sides of the lens or whatever, but yeah. So, you know, if you have a chance to test it, bring batteries with you and test it. I'll let you decide if you want to buy it. It's very bright. It uses the old flash bulbs on camera type of things. It's not LED. And let's see. You could hear the tick. I don't know if you could hear that. So it's a very light tick, which that's the capacitors or something going off. And overall, it's a good piece of history, and I like it. I don't know. And here's a few options for storage. I know there's an actual pouch designed for it, but then I used a flashbang pocket, woodland flashbang pocket, and I don't do it now, but I put both thread pieces through and tie a knot there, so it's dummy corded. This fits perfectly, and you have room around it to fit matches and other stuff. So it's kind of baggy, but you know, whatever way. You could either do it in like that and then dummy cord up here, through here, either the buckle, or do a loop around knot through here. That way, if you're signaling to the sky, you don't want it dummy corded. Oh, I can't pull it up off my vest. But then you could either dummy cord to one or the other, and then you have reasonable movement, and throw it in like that, and put Sharpies or fill the crevice with stuff. You don't want to carry a pouch if you don't fill it up with important stuff. But then you can do that. But there's that option. These are expensive and hard to find, though. They're probably at least $30 for a flashbang pouch. I just found one, luckily, at a thrift store, I think, or I don't remember. But then you have the more obvious. This is a grenade pouch. There's a video on my channel of all the different uses you can use these for. It's towards the beginning of my channel, but it's a cool video to watch. But Molly 2 pouch grenade hand, they have these in UCP, ACU, Coyote Brown, DCU, OCP, multicam, and woodland, and maybe black and gray. I don't know. Right, and then there's the Air Warrior pouches type things, but you know, this kind of fits in here. So if you're on a budget, this will work splendidly. It does sit like that, and yeah. And so you can also dummy cord it to this part here. This part is a here's just a random carabiner, just showing you. So in between the top pouch and the rivet, there's a tunnel. Will not go either direction, so you could theoretically tie this piece on there, and then you have the flap adding an additional inch or two. So here's a cheap option for those of you who want a good pouch for this, and within that you can add Bic lighter or whatever. You have way more storage space for other additional items. You could put this flat against it, and then you still have plenty of room to pack in, I don't even know, like a lighter, a whistle even, have just a pouch, and then, go to your fabric store, buy Blaze neon, hunting orange color fabric, and make like a bandana size piece, fold it up. You could have just a pouch dedicated to signaling. They make whistles very small. I'll pause the video and show you. Alright, I'm back. Here's what I use for whistle. It's a SE, I forget what brand that is, but U.S. patent number #0D743289. It's very loud and very small and bright. And then I keep it on a CPR face mask, but that's just me. But, they make small whistles, so, whistles small enough. You have your IR device, so here's night or day for audible, visual, night, maybe day, and then a piece of this color orange fabric from your local Hobby Lobby or whatever, cut into a bandana size, which I'll get out my ruler. Alright, I'd say you could maybe get away with 2 foot by 2 foot. That's a reasonable size of either the neon orange or neon pink, I believe. I wouldn't go neon green. I'd just go one of those two. But then you could either wrap that up in here or just fold it up and stick it on the bottom. So then you have your multiple different parts in it. So your whole kit. Alright, now we're going to do a quick measurement. At your worst, it's 1 1/4 by 1 4.5 by maybe 2 1/8, just to be safe. So it isn't that bad at all. Here's the get-on visual. You will have extra space there. So realistically, you're looking at, about 1 1/4. So, but, I will say I've tested it with the Molly 2 pistol magazine pouches, and they do not fit in there, as demonstrated here. Alright, as you can see, this does not fit in here. You may be able to get the bottom part in a little bit. So you can kind of fit it in here, but once it starts to taper, not so much. That's, yes, you could if you wanted, but getting it out, I don't know. So it barely fits in here. So, and you wouldn't be able to close the lid. So it kind of doesn't fit in them. Only 2 pistol pouches you saw. But so there's a few pouch options to put it in. Or idea to make a signaling pouch for your rig, and that's my review of the light marker distress. And this, or otherwise known, if you want to look it up, you could look up that or MS-2000 or FRS/MS-2000M. That is what you would look up model number for if you want to buy one. It's pretty lightweight. One of these days I'll get a scale for everything just to make it easier, so that way oh, I might buy this, but how much is this going to add to my weight of my pack when I could go with a tiny, they make a 9-volt battery IR thing, flasher, so that's very lightweight, but you can't really do too much about directing the beam unless you put it like a toilet paper tube around it or something, but there's different options, but, that's that. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, leaving a comment, sharing, liking, and all that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.